Let's do an application problem that involves using more than one operation. The problem I have here is one that we all are familiar with. Charmaine deposited her paycheck of $950 into her bank account, which previously had a balance of $55. She made payments by check of $425 rent, $85 to Duke Power, $60 to Southern Bell, $25 to Bell, $75 to Visa, and $55 to her church. What was her ending balance after all the transactions were made? So there are several things here that we've got to consider. First of all, her previous balance in the bank was $55, and she put some money in and then took a lot of money out to pay these different bills. So let's begin with her balance that she had to start with and the paycheck that she put into the bank. She'd have to put that paycheck in first or she couldn't have paid any of those bills. So let's begin with that. So she originally had $55. She put her paycheck in. That was her deposit. So to get her balance now, we need to add those two together. So if we did that, we end up with $1,005. 5 and 0 is 5, 5 and 5 is 10, carry her 1, 1 and 9 is 10. So she'd have $1,005 in the bank after she put her paycheck in. Now, if you were actually writing the checks, what you would do is you would write a check and then hopefully subtract, write another check and subtract, and continue on down until you got her final balance. Since we're told what all those checks are and we're not actually doing it, the quick way for us to get the answer is that since we're taking out the total of all those checks, what we could do is just add all those disbursements or the money that she takes out by writing the checks together, and that would save us some time. If you were doing it for real, you would be subtracting checks as you went in your checkbook. But let's write down each of those checks that she paid. Okay, these are called disbursements because she's paying those out. She's dispersing them. Okay, the first one was a $425 payment for her rent, $85 to Duke Power, $60 to Southern Bell, $25 to Bell, $75 to Visa, and $55 to a church. So what we want to do is to add those disbursements up, and it ends up that she pays out $725 once she pays all of her bills. Now, the question was, what was her ending balance after all the transactions were made? So, if she has $1,005 after putting her paycheck in, and she's going to pay out $725 for bills, then to see what she's going to have left, how much is left, we're going to subtract the two. So we'll take our $1,005 and subtract from $725, and when we finish, we'll have our ending balance. So let's do that. 5 from 5 is 0. We can't subtract 2 from 0, so we come over here and borrow 1 from the 10. That leaves us with 9 and gives us a 10 here. 2 from 10 leaves 8. 7 from 9 leaves 2. And we could check that. 5 and 0 is 5. In fact, I'll put the check right here. Five and 0 is 5, 2 and 8 is 10, carry 1, 1 and 7 is 8, and 2 is 10. So it did check. But this is our ending balance, and because it's money, we need to make sure that we put the dollar sign. So she has $280 left in her checking account after she paid the bills.